Hey, I'm making this video for everybody that's maybe in a situation like me and you have one of the newer generation Accords and you're wanting to do a easy hardwire connection for your radar detector using a mirror tap. And found a few things out there, but nothing that was 100% easy step by step. So even though I didn't do it while I was doing the actual steps, I wanted to go back and recap it just so everybody has kind of a Cliff's Notes version. So first of all, the car that I'm working with is a new 21 Honda Accord Touring. I think what I'm going to show and share is going to apply to any of the Accords at least since 2018 because they really hadn't changed that much. The one thing that might be a little different is just to make sure that your mirror is on one of the Accords that has the home link and maybe the auto dimming mirror, but I really don't know that that's going to be required. It just makes sure that you have power up near the mirror. So first thing that I was going to show is I did end up having a couple of choices. The one on the right is a hardwire kit to go from your fuse box. I've done that on other cars. It's still fairly easy, but not as straightforward as what I'm going to share with you on this one. I did order from Amazon the kit of the mirror tap wires, and it came with 3. You can see I've got 2 left. I used the one, when you see the difference between them, it's really the size of the red and the black tabs, and that's what actually inserts into your power harness behind the mirror. For the Accord, I actually used the one that had the smallest diameter tab, but again, you'll get 3 of them in case your wiring harness for another vehicle or whatever maybe has some bigger wires on it. So next, I'm going to show you what we did with these, but basically it's pretty simple. Once you get access to the wiring harness behind the mirror, you're basically going to take the black, which is your ground wire, and insert it into an equivalent ground wire on that harness. And you're going to take the red one and you're going to slide it in next to the power wire in that same harness. But that's the trick of this is for the Accord, I was able to find on another forum which of those wires in the harness are the ground and the power. And specifically, the power switch is one that is active whenever you turn the key on. So I'll move over to the car. So like I said, this is a 21 Accord Touring, but basically what we're going after is right up here. I just wanted to show you kind of what the interior looked like so that you have an idea of what generation the car is as far as other features. Looking at the mirror here, you can see that what I referenced earlier is this one does have the home link buttons on the bottom. So that tells me, that it's got power going to it. This particular car does have the rain sensitive wipers, which are also, back up. The sensor for it is back up here, but we're not gonna mess with that one. When you take this cover off, it comes off really easy with either a small screwdriver or a trim tool. And once you're able to access it, here on the left side, you're going to see a white wiring harness that has 6 or 8 wires in it. And you can access it there by tilting your mirror down a little bit more. But I found it to be much easier to do one more step, and that is I'm going to flip the mirror up here. Underneath, on the back side, the larger cover that goes around back to the base of the windshield up to the top. If you want to take that off for easier access, I found out it's super easy. You basically take 2 hands and squeeze up towards the headliner. So basically you would push this and you'll feel the top of it has a little bit of play, which up here, and once you kind of squeeze down here and pull up towards the headliner, that big cover will come off. and it gives you a lot easier access to the left side of this cover over here. So once you've got that off, basically right where my finger is where that white harness is, and it is attached on a slide that is mounted to basically the bracket up here, and you slide it down towards your dashboard gently, and you'll get it to come loose with the wiring harness. You do not have to unplug the wiring harness at all. All this does is it gives you easier access to the two wires that I was talking about. So, once you've got that wiring harness loose, you will take I'm going to pull up my tabs. You take your mirror tap and you take the black one, and you're going to see on the bottom row of that wiring harness, you're going to see a very small black wire. It's near the center of the bottom, and you're going to slide the black tap into that beside that black wire. Mine went in pretty easily on the first try. Again, I was using the smaller tips. These are kind of the medium. And then you put the red one in next to the brown wire, and that is the switched wire so that you get power when the ignition is turned on. So that one is right beside the black wire, and it is on the bottom left of that wiring harness. So once you get both of those pushed in gently, but put them in all the way, then I took a zip tie and zip tied this a little bit of this cord up to the wiring harness itself, and then I slid it back onto its mount. And from there, it's just a matter of putting this plastic cover back on in reverse order, just opposite of what you took it off. And I hid the extra wire up here where my finger is, tucked it in. But if you can see here from the radar detector, sorry, I'm really close, but now when I turn the switch on to accessory, you get the radar detector like you want. So super easy. I think if you're wanting to hardwire your radar detector in one of the new Accords, the hard information to find is which wires are the targets, and what's the best route to go. And I've done this before where you do it around the headliner and all that, and this was so much simpler, and it took literally about 10 minutes once I got started. So let me know if any questions. Hope this helps somebody.